Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. Let's find some plays. Let's find some plays. Let's find some plays. So we hit a prize pick slip already today, which I'm feeling pretty good about. And it's Taco Tuesday, so we're going to go through a bunch of plays. So we hit this 5 flex on prize picks. We'll also look at Fliff. I say it all the time, but the more books you have, the better. Today prize picks has some pretty good promos running. It's their Taco Tuesday where they discount players' lines. So this is the easiest money you're going to make sports betting is when they're discounting a player's line. So regardless, let's find some value in the market. And obviously, if you're new to this live stream, I follow a very data-driven approach. So for me, it's all about the numbers. It's all about the data, right? So all of these books set their own lines. So you can see here, Pinnacle, Bet Online. These are known to be pretty sharp, pretty smart books. And the market's always moving around. Like if you look at, this is honestly probably the best Twitter account to follow, is all this stuff like lineup news, the same way a stock price will change after earnings are released or when they release a new product. Like all these injury updates, if Embiid isn't playing, like all these other players, Maxi's points line has to go higher if Embiid isn't playing. But anyways, without further ado, let's just kind of look for some plays. We have about 11 minutes till the first game starts. So why don't we start out, with Underdog Fantasy? Why not? So we'll start out on Underdog. Again, like on these live streams, I always recommend have as many books as you can get. So like WinBet is a great book. This is a book I use all the time, WinBet, but it's not legal in as many states, whereas Fliff, all these books are legal in different locations. Fliff is legal basically everywhere in the US. So anyways, Underdog Fantasy too. It's legal in most states. So it's a book worth getting. So let's look for some plays, right? And we can just kind of, where do we want to start? It's like overwhelming. There's so many games today. So maybe we actually start on prize picks. So we can take a look here. So here we have prize picks, right? So the way that prize picks works is, let's go over to prize picks. There's so much opportunity. So you can include the taco. We'll build a prize pick slip, and you can include the taco if you haven't already played it. I already gave out a slip for it. But the first pick that we're going to go with is Bridges under 5.5 rebounds. So again, the way that prize picks works, right, is they have fixed payouts. So if you take Bridges, if you take him to go over or under, like it doesn't matter. That's what makes prize picks really weird and interesting. Like you take him over or is under in rebounds, prize picks always gives you the same payout. They have fixed payouts. So the reason we want to take his under is, again, it's all about the data, is look at the sports books. All of these books, FanDuel, Caesars, have ripped his line towards the under. So I don't know, like maybe a player in the Nets game, I don't know. Maybe there was some lineup news. Maybe all the sharps are hammering the under. But you can see all these billion-dollar sports books, right? DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, they have really good models. They're taking action, moving around lines. They all have Bridges heavily favored to go under 5.5 rebounds. So his under is the more likely outcome, right? Then we got a hockey play. So this play has a slightly lower profit margin. But on prize picks, we want to go with 5 or 6 pick entries. And it does really matter how many picks you go with on these platforms. So like if you look at prize picks, right? If you play a 3-pick entry, they only give you a 5x payout. Whereas on Underdog Fantasy, which is another popular book, they give you a 6x payout. So you can see that maybe right here. Maybe it's too small. But long story short, like you don't want to be playing 3 picks on prize picks when they're only giving you a 5x payout, because that's clearly a ripoff, because their biggest competitor, Underdog, is giving you a 6x payout. So these platforms, Underdog versus prize picks, they do have some small differences. But anyways, another play I like, I already gave it out on Twitter, but hey, I love the NFL. Might as well hit some NFL plays while we're at it, is Joe Mixon to not score a touchdown. So if I pull up the Odds Jam Sportsbook screen, none of these tools do anything complicated. It's literally all just data. But if you look at Mixon, he's heavily favored, right? Pinnacle, it's known to be, the sharpest bookmaker out there. all these books have Mixon heavily favored to go under, minus 151 favorite. In a lot of these books, like if you look at FanDuel, it's a little weird because it's like, oh, FanDuel, they only have odds on Mixon's over. They only have, like, you can't bet on Mixon to not score. You can only bet on Mixon to score. But you can see he's plus 110, right? Plus 110 is underdog odds, right? They're giving you plus money 100 to win 110. So obviously Mixon, according to Fanatics, FanDuel, PointsBet, like he's an under to score. So if you assume, Pinnacle has him to score at plus 106, they have the under at minus 140. So FanDuel, Fanatics, PointsBet, if they had odds on the under, they'd probably be around like minus 145. So all these books, even the ones with one-way markets, you can tell like Mixon, he's a lot more likely to not score as opposed to scoring, right? And again, like people always like insert their sports opinions. Like if you want to make money on PrizePicks or really any of these books, like take your gut out of sports betting. All the books have Mixon as a heavy underdog to score. A heavy favorite to not score. So he's an underdog to score. So that's a play we want to go with. But anyways, I'm talking way too much considering the first game start in 6 minutes, but we will have a new PrizePicks taco coming out. So let's go back here. And what else do we like? So this play looks great. Devin Vassell under 23.5 points plus assists. So again, every game is different. A lot of people like to look at these, little historical charts, shit like this. Like this is useless, right? Like everything is baked into the market, lineups, injuries, all that type of stuff. So if you take a look here, like right at Devin Vassell, so if we just pull up this market, so let's go to NBA player points plus assists. Let's take a look at how he's looking. So PrizePicks has his line at 23.5, right? We have all these other data points, all these other books with his line around 22.5. I mean, literally, you have like 50 plus sports books with his line at 22.5. So like, it's like being able to short a stock, sell a stock at 23.50 when it's trading in the stock market at, whatever. It's like being able to buy Facebook at $300 when it's trading in the market at 336.1. So like we want to take the under. And you can see FanDuel has all these books in general have his under favored too. So not only do they have the line lower, but they have his under favored. So now we have 4 picks, and I really need to get moving before these games start, but hey. Sorry. So you can see Maxey over 25.5 points. So we're taking the kid. And, again, like last 5 charts, not that useful. Embiid, it seems like his hip is a little questionable. So regardless, you can bet however much you want on it, but you're going to see PrizePicks. They limit me to only getting $25 down. Maximum daily amount is $4,000. Like they always have some bullshit for not letting me bet. Like, can I bet $20? And okay, they'll take $20. So again, like PrizePicks, if you go through the math, I actually have a little spreadsheet. Oh shit. So anyways, was I not sharing my screen? I feel like I was sharing my screen. But anyways, here's what I just locked in on PrizePicks. Maxey over 25.5 points. I'm not sure if I hit the stop sharing button, but if I did, I apologize. But if you go through, so this is the PrizePicks play I just locked in. But what was I going to say is on PrizePicks, if you go through like how this platform works, what you're going to see is on PrizePicks, all you got to do to be profitable on this platform is be able to win your over-unders, right? Just like Bridges, over-under 5.5 rebounds. You just got to be able to win these over-unders above 54.25% of the time, right? So PrizePicks, they always give you the same payout for a 5 flex, 10, 2.4. If you look at the 5 flex we had earlier, 10, 2.4, they have fixed payouts. So the entire platform, it all just boils down to what percentage of your picks can you win, right? The higher win percentage, the better. So if you can win 57% of your picks, your ROI on PrizePicks will be 19.3%. So it's all just about finding the plays with the highest possible win rate. So like this play on Bridges, like, why is this pick profitable on PrizePicks? Because it's winning above 54.25% of the time. Why is it winning above 54.25% of the time? Well, look at all the books, right? All the books have them as a pretty big favorite to go under. Minus 140, minus 145, whatever. You get the point. But anyways, if my screen wasn't sharing for the first part, I apologize. But what we can do next is we can, find some other plays. So maybe we go over to Underdog Fantasy, and obviously some of these games are about to start at 4. But regardless, I'm sure find some good bets. Or maybe we look for another PrizePicks play. Who knows? So Tyrese Maxey over 25.5. You can see most of these books like Pinnacle right here, which is known to be one of the sharper books, they not only have his line higher, right? They have his line at 26.5, and they have the over as a minus 150 favorite. So what does minus 150 mean? Minus 150 means 60% to win, right? If someone's a minus 150 favorite, that means they're a 1.5 to 1 betting favorite or 60% to win. Just like if you look at sports books, so if we pull up FanDuel, right, or DraftKings, I apologize, all these, there's different levels of being a favorite, right? So the 76ers are, let's say minus 200 favorites roughly. Minus 200 means a 2-to-1 betting favorite, 2/3 to win the game. Whereas the Thunder are minus 400 favorites, 4-to-1 betting favorites. So 80% to win the game. So the more juice you can find, when we're looking at these plays on PrizePicks, the reason we like this play on bridges better than this play on, better than this hockey play. Why is it a higher profit margin? This is only a 0.38% profit margin. This is 1.69. Is here, the books have his under, pretty heavily favored, minus 145, whatever, minus 145-ish. Whereas here, you can see, he's still favored to go over, but maybe, slightly less favored. But anyways, let's go back here to Underdog, and hopefully we can find some Underdog plays. And I'm waiting for the next taco to drop as well. So we can see here, PrizePicks already, you want to see this, right? We want to see PrizePicks, bump stuff in our direction. So we got, Devin Vassell under 23.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. If you take a look at the rest of the market, again, I'm not sure if I was sharing my screen or not, but every other book, right? You have 50 data points, and they all have him, or this was points plus assists. I apologize. Literally every single book has his line at 22.5, right? PrizePicks just bumped him down. So we caught PrizePicks sleeping, right? Their line was too high relative to the rest of the market. We take the under. We have a bet with an edge. And you can see Caesars, FanDuel, BetMGM, they also have juice towards the under, right? The under is juiced or favored, minus 125. So we got under 23.5, which is clearly a play winning above 54.25% of the time, considering these other books not only have his line lower, but they have the under juiced or favored. So that's pretty cool. And we got some plays starting, but we got another PrizePicks taco, so we can take a look at that. So we can go to the NFL, and what did they end up doing? Mark Andrews receiving yards. So let's take a look at this play. How good of a discount is this relative to the rest of the market? So you can see here, Mark Andrews, his line on PrizePicks is 41.5 with the promo. All the books have him at 54.5, with the over favored, 56.5 on some books. So clearly this is really good value. This is a play we want to be on. So hopefully we can find some pairs. So it actually pairs. So this doesn't pair that well. I mean, you can see there's a play on Justin Tucker field goals. So again, on PrizePicks, any play winning above 54.25% of the time is profitable. So this play on Mark Andrews, why is it a good pick? I mean, it should be kind of intuitive. You're getting 13 yards of value versus the market. It's like being able to buy a stock at 41 when it's trading in the market at 55.5. But another way to think about it is okay, all these other books have his line higher. So this is a play winning about 54.25% of the time. But anyways, let's refresh this. And let's take a look, and hopefully we can find some more plays. So if you like the Bridges play, we could include that again. And you can see there's a lot of value on ParlayPlay, which is another good book to have. Again, like I sign up for every book in my location. That's what I always recommend if you're starting out sports betting. Like all these books in general have pretty good sign up offers too. Like ParlayPlay, you put in 100, they give you $100 for free. They match your first deposit. So you put in $100, you get 100 for free. So it's not the most like popular, most sexy platform, whatever, but the more books you have access to, the better. And again, there's a lot of free money promos. So sometimes there's a lot of good lines on PrizePicks. Other days there's more value on ParlayPlay, and then sometimes it's Underdog Fantasy. But anyways, what do we want to do? Let's make a little slip. So let's go here. We can refresh PrizePicks. And, hopefully find a play. So we could go with bridges under rebounds again. I don't love to include the same play a bunch of times, or we can go over to Underdog and then come back. So you can include the same picks or not. Like, I never want to forget. Like, this is obviously a really good promo. It's going to be around for 3.5 more hours, so maybe we wait a bit. But let's go over to Underdog Fantasy. So Underdog Fantasy, you can see, like, there's just not a lot of shit available right now. Not a lot of plays in green. Underdog Fantasy, again, it works very similar to PrizePicks, except slightly different payouts. So on Underdog Fantasy, I play a lot of these 3-pick entries because they give you a pretty good payout, 6x, whereas PrizePicks is a fucking ripoff. They're only giving you a 5x payout. And again, like great lines, not going to last forever. So when you see good bets available, I always, even if, it's for Sunday or whatever, or for Thursday night football, like I recommend getting it in. So we'll go back to PrizePicks in a second, but maybe we look at Fliff and ParlayPlay. So ParlayPlay has the same payouts as PrizePicks. So it may not seem intuitive, like why should I get ParlayPlay if they have the same payouts as PrizePicks? But again, all these books have different lines. You never know what books are going to fuck up on a given day and have a bunch of profitable bets. So if you look at Zach Collins, ParlayPlay has his line at 27.5. PrizePicks doesn't even have a lineup. And then all these other books have his line at 26.5 or 25.5. And the books that have his line at 26.5 have his under heavily favored. So like ParlayPlay, not only do they have the line on Collins too high, right? But this is another one of those fixed payout platforms. It works just like PrizePicks. You take Collins over, you get a 3x payout. You take his under, you get a 3x payout, right? So it's the same strategy, just a different book. So we can make a quick little play. And if you don't have ParlayPlay, obviously recommend signing up. I try to cover the main books, ParlayPlay, PrizePicks, Underdog, and Fliff in these videos. So OddsJam, this fantasy optimizer, it works for these fixed payout platforms, PrizePicks, Underdog, ParlayPlay. Whereas like usually when I'm finding bets on Fliff, again, like these platforms are different. They work in different ways, right? Like on Fliff, there's a bunch of odds, right? Like there's numbers, there's odds, so hopefully you tailed my Fliff play yesterday because that cashed. My 2-pick parlay. But again, like, more books, the better. And these books only take like a minute to sign up for. And most of these books, again, like I just kind of bounce around from book to book. Most of these books have pretty lucrative sign-up offers in the first place. But anyways, so let's refresh this and let's find some plays. So Zach Collins, I don't know, maybe something happened in the Spurs game and he's expected to play less minutes. Who knows? But clearly, ParlayPlay's sleeping at the wheel with his line at 27.5 PRAs. And you can see, anyways, let's go to the second play. So the next play is Grant under 5.5 rebounds. So again, ParlayPlay. It's so annoying to hear over and over, but it really is the key to beating them. Like, there's no fucking magic here. It's like they give you the same payout. You take his over or his under. But if you look at the sports books, all the books have him heavily favored to go under. So there's some books that are known to be sharper, smarter. Pinnacle, for example, known to be one of the sharpest bookmakers. You can see they have his under as a -153 favorite. So even if you don't use all these books, like Pinnacle, it's not even legal in the United States. It's not available. It's like a Canadian, European, Australian, whatever. but they take action from all around the world. They have pretty high betting limits. They're known to be a more sophisticated, sharper book. I can't bet on it, but I'm looking at their odds as a source of information to help me find sharp bets on ParlayPlay. But anyways, so we have Grant under 5.5 rebounds, and it's like, okay, cool. Let's keep on moving, though. Zion under 33.5 points plus rebounds. You know, you can see all the other books have his line at 32.5. So a lot of unders value, and then we'll go back to PrizePicks here in a second. So we want Zion under. And again, like, why take this play on Zach Collins PRAs? There's a lot of value on Zach Collins right now. They're clearly asleep at the wheel. You can see they're messing up his points line as well. But so we have Bridges again. Damn, there are a lot of games today. Overwhelming. So we have 4 plays from 4 separate NBA games. So this Bridges play we already went through, right? We already went through this play. It's on PrizePicks. It's also on ParlayPlay. So we want to take that under. Damn. So then we got the Nuggets game. We may have a full under slip. And again, like, I fully encourage you to just bet with data for a bit. You know, like, you can do this stuff manually too. Like, it's not like you need a software. You can compare these books. Obviously, OddsJam just reads in all the data and is pointing out discrepancies. You know, these books have a lot of lines. You can see PrizePicks just bumped Bridges. So now the value's gone on PrizePicks. We already placed this bet on PrizePicks, but you can see on ParlayPlay, you know, this play's fully available. So it's like, okay, we have 5 sharp picks. And what do we want to go to last? Okay, so like, we'll take this esports play over 25.5 kills. So again, they have the same payouts as PrizePicks for the 6-pick entries, 6-pick insured entries, 25 to 0.4. This is the same payout as PrizePicks will give you for a 6 flex. But again, these plays are only available on ParlayPlay. So if you don't have ParlayPlay, you're missing out on these profitable plays. So it looks like the most random slip of all time, and these assholes moved this play on Jeremiah Grant. So we're going to have to go back here, and we're going to have to go back here. And we're going to have to refresh it and hopefully find one more play quickly. So I don't want to include, right, if I'm taking Zach Collins under in points plus rebounds, it would make no sense to take, you know, Wembanyama under in points plus rebounds as well. Like, they're on the same team. Somebody's got to score. Someone's got to get rebounds. So we don't want to include them both in the same slip. That would be negatively correlated. So whatever. What we do have is we have this play on Matthew Tukachuk. So we can take his over 3.5 shots on goal. And there we go. Then we got a nice little 6-pick entry, 25 2.4. The play up, fuck. So they moved the line on Zach Collins. Assholes. Where did they move it to? They just removed Zach Collins altogether. So it's like, okay, like, we missed the play. I mean, some of these lines, I mean, you're in a race against the sports book. And they just straight up removed Victor Wembanyama as well. So it's like, okay, like, fucking removing lines left and right on us, but we need another play for the Thunder game. I mean, sometimes they add it back up pretty quickly, but no, they just straight up remove Zach Collins. So it's like, okay, like, was there any other value we liked in this game? So we have Chet plus Victor under 17.5 rebounds. So fade the rookies. And sure, whatever. We can do this. We got the rookie duel off. So I try to move quick, but again, sometimes, you know, miss some of the good plays. So here we have 4 NBA plays, 1 combo prop, 1 esports prop, and 1 NHL prop. And again, like, if you don't bet on esports, I recommend, you know, again, like, there's so many games every day, right? More games means more surface area for books to cover. PrizePicks has a good, you know, whatever, Taco Tuesday promo on Mark Andrews, but there's not really, like, you know, a lot of NFL value right now. There's no NFL until until Thursday, where you only have 1 game. Whereas in esports, I mean, all these books set their own lines. They're trying to do it themselves. And there are just dozens and dozens of esports games every single day, which means there's a lot of opportunity for books to screw up and for us to find profitable bets. So we got this play down on ParlayPlay, and it's like, okay, maybe we can find some plays on Fliff. So this play looks really good on WinBet, but if you're in New York, you can't bet on college teams in your state. So I wasn't able to place this bet. I gave out some plays on WinBet earlier on Twitter, but I wasn't able to place this bet because Buffalo, unfortunately, is in New York. But anyways, let's take a look here. So here you can see we have Prince over 9.5 points in the Grizzlies-Lakers game. So you can see, Caesar Sportsbook. It's a $10 billion company. They have a pretty good model. These books aren't stupid. They're taking action, moving around their lines based on where action's coming in. Bet online, minus 143. Like, all these books have ripped Prince to being a pretty heavy favorite, to go over 9.5 points. And those are just the books in New York. Like, if you switch your state to, whatever, like some other state, you'll see, there's tons of books, right? So you have tons of data points, which is really interesting if you think about it, right? It's like if there were hundreds of different prices for a stock. You go to Fidelity, Facebook is 300. You go to E-Trade, it's 350. Like, it would be pretty easy to be a day trader if you went to Fidelity and Facebook was $200. Then you go to E-Trade and it's $400. But that's kind of what you're getting in sports betting. Obviously a little different. But, basically, you have a very fragmented market where all these books have entered the U.S. There's tons of sports books. They're all trying to set lines independently. They just don't do that great a job of it. So we can go here to the Lakers game. And this time I'll try to move quick. We obviously just missed some good plays on ParlayPlay, and then we'll go back to PrizePicks. But this is Fliff, so what we want to do is we just want to, try to pull this up quickly. So again, Pinnacle, sharpest bookmaker. They have them as a minus 127, minus 138. The market's always moving. Books move lines, based on where action's coming in. So you can see we have a 1.5% profit margin. And again, what's really powerful about sports betting is then we got the Dolphins. What's really powerful about sports betting is even if you have a 2% profit margin on your bets, like this play has a 1.5% edge or profit margin, which may not seem like a lot, right? And it's not like a lot, but you got to remember you earn that ROI daily, right? Like, when you're betting on games that are today, if you have a 2% return on your, let's say, baseball bets, there's 162 MLB games in the regular season. So if you have an ROI of 2% and you're betting every day, 2% a day, 162 games in the regular season, that's a 324%, ROI betting on the MLB, which is great, right? That's what's amazing about sports betting is how quickly your earnings compound. But anyways, the second pick we can go with is the Dolphins minus 13. So Dolphins minus 13. Obviously the game's on Sunday. If you want to, you can just take Prince as a straight bet. But we have a little 2-pick parlay, comes out to plus 300. And again, once you start getting into the lower profit margins, it's kind of whatever, not as exciting. So we have the two best picks now in our parlay. We could play them as straight bets. We can play them in a parlay, whatever. I'll just include it in a parlay. If your bet is profitable, it's going to be profitable in a round robin, whatever, right? Any profitable bet is profitable. You can include it in a parlay, a round robin. So you can play this as a straight bet, doesn't matter. And again, a lot of people will say oh, this game's, still not until Sunday. And again, great lines, they're not going to last forever. So this line, plus 110, looks incredible. You got the sharpest bookmaker with an extremely tight market, only 12 cents in width, pricing this at minus 103. This line's not going to last forever. So if you want to get in the bet, you can wait till closer to game time. But again, the line may not be available anymore. It probably won't be if it's a good bet. Again, these books aren't fucking dumb. They're trying to move lines around. Oh, shit. Some esports plays. So what do we have? We have Aaron Gordon under 12 rebounds plus assists. So let's take a look at this. And again, most of these bets, So if we go to rebounds plus assists, we can take a look at Aaron Gordon. A lot of the line movement in the NBA, one of the reasons NBA is a great sport to bet on is number one, there's a lot of games, right? Like compared to, football. Number two is there's a lot of line movement and every player is very impactful, right? So like if you think about it, if Aaron Gordon or Jokic or Murray's on a minutes restriction, that moves around lines like crazy. So all these lineup announcements and stuff, every book sets their own lines. So every book needs to update odds, lines, every time the market moves. Steph Curry isn't playing. Clay's points line has to move higher on every book. All these books have their own models. It gets into disarray. But anyways, so if you take a look at, rebounds plus assist line for Aaron Gordon, again, on PrizePicks, we need to win above 54.25% of our plays to be profitable. So it's like, okay, like all these books in general have his line lower at 11.5 rebounds plus assists, right? FanDuel has his under 11.5 favored. So PrizePicks has the line at 12. FanDuel's like, no, the line should be at 11.5 and the under is favored. DraftKings is like, nah, the line should be at 11.5, but the over is actually slightly favored. So you can see the market's a little in disarray. And, you can see the line movements are kind of highlighted. PointsBet has the line at 11.5 with the under favored. So all these other books, in general have his line at 11.5 without much juice. Fanatics has the under, favored. The under is more juice towards the under. So Fanatics' model is saying that, hey, Aaron Gordon's more likely to go under 11.5 as opposed to over. So it's like, okay, like the second pick we want to go with is Aaron Gordon. Nope. Got to go over to the NBA. Is we want to take Gordon under 12 rebounds plus assists. And we want to get rid of this play on Bridges. So it's like, okay, like that seems good. Caesars has the line at 11.5. So we're using market data, right? All these books have sophisticated models. They're moving around lines based on where action's coming in. The same way the price of a stock, right? Like the reason nobody can be a day trader, it's almost impossible to be a good day trader, is the price of a stock is based on supply and demand, right? There are millions of investors who wake up every day and their full-time job is running models, doing all this research to decide if Facebook is a buy or a sell. Is the stock price too high or too low? An equilibrium where supply and demand meet is 336.31. It's really hard to outsmart the opinion of everyone in the world mashed together, right? So let's go back here and let's find some PrizePicks plays. So we have, so let's go here. So Lucky under 32. What kind of sucks about esports is you don't have as many data points. Like every book posts NFL lines. Like it's clear this Taco Tuesday play is good. PrizePicks has the line at 41.5. Every other book has the line around like 55. For esports, not as many books have lines up. So that also means you don't have as many, data points. So we want to take Lucky under 32. If you look at Paulo's line, all the books have his line at 33.5. We're getting under 34.5 on PrizePicks. So it's like, okay, that seems good. And then probably what I should have did is, so we want to go here. We want to take him under 34.5. We have this play on Aaron Gordon. So it's like, okay, like why is this so zoomed in? Let's zoom out a bit more. So we have this play on Aaron Gordon. Let's refresh this quickly. And see if there's anything else we like. So one play that does make sense to pair with this, I mean, we already included it in a previous slip, but again, is Mixon to not score, right? The Bengals are playing the Ravens. So if Mark Andrews has a great game, and he's going over, then the Bengals are less likely to have the ball, right? Like, So these plays are positively correlated, slightly, not like a ton of positive correlation, but it should make sense. Like if the Ravens have the ball more, then Mark Andrews is more likely to go over. Joe Mixon is less likely to score a touchdown. Are these assholes even going to let me bet it? They're not even going to let me bet this Taco Tuesday promo. Absolutely insane. Maximum daily amount is $4,000, which makes no sense because they only let me bet $20, $25. And I've only placed a few bets today, so whatever. But this looks like it would be a great play to go with on PrizePicks. But anyways, I'm going to go over to Underdog because he's not letting me get my action down. Oh, wow. So you can see a lot of Esports line discrepancies kind of popping up. But what I will say is, like here, if we look at this play, so books are starting to release Esports lines for tomorrow. So if you look at this play, Beelany, like this is interesting information as a sports bettor. Underdog has line at 30.5. Hot Streak, another book that does Esports, they have his line at 27.5, but there's only 2 data points, right? PrizePicks, Jock Market, like no other books have lines up yet. So it's not really clear, like, okay, like which book is fucking up? Like which bet is good? The over 27.5 on Hot Streak or the under 30.5 on Underdog? It's not clear. You only have 2 data points. But what you could do is you could middle bet this. So middle betting, again, you're going to need multiple sports books to be a good middle better, but you'd want to hit the under 30.5 and the over 27.5, right? You're capitalizing on inefficiencies in the market, discrepancies between books. So you hit the under 30.5, the over 27.5. If he has 28, 29, 30, you'll win both plays, right? That's middle betting. And you got to remember, like this player's line is centered around like 30, kills. He's not going to get 1,000 kills. He's not going to end up with 0. So the probability, he ends up 28, 29, 30 is pretty high. Like that's what his line is centered around. It's kind of like in the NFL, Joe Burrow or something like that. So if we go back here and PrizePicks isn't even going to let me bet shit. But like, if you look at like Joe Burrow passing yards, like he's almost every game going to end up between 200 and 300 passing yards where his line is centered around. It's going to be very rare to see him go to 600 passing yards or 0 passing yards. So middle betting is a great strategy. But again, like there's not really a play to make that I'd recommend unless you're middle betting this. So if you did want to middle bet it, it's pretty simple. Like take the over, what the fuck is wrong with this? Take the over on Hot Streak, over 27.5, hit the under on Underdog Fantasy, hit the over on the book with the lower line. You're day trading the books. And you can do this with any sports books, right? Like middle bets can occur between any sports books. If we look at, NFL passing yards, like sometimes there's good middle bets on FanDuel, DraftKings, Fanatics. Again, I don't know what books are legal in your location. The more books you have access to, the better. The same strategies apply to betting on all these sports books. ESPN bet launched today, Betway. So the more books you have, the better. But anyways, let's go back here. Maybe we can find some more plays on Fliff. We already locked in this 2-pick parlay on Fliff. But maybe we can find some more. Maybe. So a bunch of bets on WinBet. I mean, we can add in FanDuel, see if anything changes. Maybe play some bets on FanDuel, Caesars, whatever. Oh, shit. Let's go back here. What is going on with this optimizer? So if we take a look here, again, Esports, there's only 2 data points right now. Only 2 books have dropped lines for tomorrow, Hot Streak and Underdog. So there's some good middle bets available, right? Hit the under on Underdog, under 30.5, the over on the other book. There were some bets on PrizePicks, but they're not even going to let me bet anymore. And then a lot of these plays we've already locked in on ParlayPlay. What the fuck? So let's go back here. And I guess we'll call it a day for now. Enjoy your day. We hit some good plays on PrizePicks, Taco Tuesday, stuff like that. So thanks so much for your time.